This woman is something. She just gently waved the small grinding whip in her hand. The man on the other side used his sword to block, but to his surprise, the sword in her hand actually softened instantly, and now it was the man's life because the sword was no longer sharp. That means the man has lost the ability to fight. The woman looked at the man coldly, and then another whip hit the man's body heavily, and with this blow, the man actually instantly turned into a stone statue. Obviously, the man is not the first person to meet with misfortune. The last warrior of the super cool fantasy movie of the fighting people now begins. This young man who is talking to a rich woman, but it's a no-brainer. He's just doing a few random tricks and made the rich woman believe that he really has the ability to predict the future. This is how the young man easily earned money from the rich man. Is this money so easy to earn? It's impossible because there are too many people who cheat. The case of being chased by the enemy also often happens, and this time what the hero did not expect is his fantasy journey is about to begin. Just when the hero 10,000 rushed out of the slide, the sight he saw before him, he could not believe his eyes. The first thing that came to his eyes, there was a mysterious forest. Not only that, a strange old man suddenly appeared behind everyone. With a strange smile, the old man said to everyone, "I have been waiting here for decades. Finally, I've waited for you. You are the last warrior in this world. The fate of this world is in your hands," said the strange old man, solemnly handed a ring and handed it to everyone. And at that moment, a cloud-piercing arrow hit the old man in the back. The strange old man appeared in such a hurry. He disappeared in a hurry and left Billion. Was a royal cavalry with swords drawn. Faced with the heavily armed soldiers, Billion had no choice, had to decide to use his ultimate move again. Well, that was rash. Apparently his move doesn't work every time, and so a bewildered Ivan was brought to the palace. But when the king saw the same ring on Ivan's hand, he changed his attitude instantly. Immediately and Ivan began to call each other brothers. It turned out that Ivan was the previous king, the son of the legendary warrior Ilya. The king immediately called for the queen. Let the queen arrange the best room for Ivan to stay. Does this queen look familiar? Yes, she is the evil woman at the beginning of the film. And is it really possible for Billion to get the best room? It's impossible that the queen ordered the king behind his back, put Ivan in a dark dungeon, and before Ivan could react to the ups and downs, of fate, the scene he saw before him, and once again completely overturned his perception. He saw a man with his head and he saw a man whose limbs and torso were all disconnected, was firmly frozen in a huge block of ice. And what was even more bizarre was that the man was still alive. And just when everyone was full of doubts, a young girl and an old woman suddenly broke in. Two people skillfully cut the chains that bound the man and chiseled away all the ice, put the man's body back together. The man was relieved to stretch his muscles. So in order to wait for the arrival of Billions, the men had been waiting here for thousands of years. They brought the Billions in a deer with a pair of bird legs through the many surroundings, finally escaped from the living world. Through a night of running, they finally hungered out of the pursuers behind. Faced with the Billion demons who refused to cooperate, finally told the truth. It turned out that they have been looking for a powerful magic sword, and only Billion, who is the son of a legendary warrior, could lead them to find the sword with the powerful magic power. The Devil King also promised everyone, as long as the magic sword is found, he will help Billion to return to the real world. And the journey was bound to be difficult and dangerous. Devil decided to ask an old friend to help him, and so the men arrived at a gloomy swamp. They let the girl sit alone by the side of the swamp, and the others all hid in the shadows and waited for an opportunity to move. Sure enough, in a short time, a green monster emerged from the water. The monster took a salivating look at the girl, then swam frantically towards the girl's side.